Welcome to Culturally Incorrect, the podcast where two friends dive into the ordinary, turning the mundane into a humorous adventure.
Join us for laughter, candid conversations, and a dose of friendship as we explore the everyday topics that make life truly basic.
We're your hosts, Ken
and Z.
We're here to turn your everyday into a fun-filled conversation.
So grab the drink of your choice, put on your headphones, and let's chat.
All right, we're back for episode 3 of this conversation about who the fuck I married. And I feel like we spent a lot of time on the young lady, and we will get to the guy. I swear we are. I think we'll take this episode to kind of recap some things that we kind of jumped over and that were very important. And so we really want to talk about that. So the first thing we're going to talk about is this standoff that they had with the buyers of the actual house that they put a full offer bid in, where the sellers were like, we really like the house, or we really like the offer, but we want to see your proof of funds before we accept the offer. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I'm not showing you that. And they were like, well, we're not going to accept the offer till you show us that. And they went back and forth on that.
Yeah.
So that was kind of, to me, that was kind of weird.
Very, because how am I gonna accept your offer without knowing that you have the money to give me? Mm-hmm. That doesn't even make sense. And if you were mortgaging, you would have already had to do that. So why?
Yeah.
Why not? And then she says, well, I understood why he wouldn't want to show them his financials, da da da. And then not even 2 minutes later, she like, and then I start thinking like, why won't you show them? You have the money. I saw the account. Like, what's the big deal? Why would you let this deal fall through if you have the money? Which I was like, why is she going back and forth with in her mind? Do you believe it or don't you believe that he has it? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And then Scott pulling out at that point, being like, I'm done with this. We can't. I'm not showing you any more houses.
He said, my manager said.
Yeah. We ain't doing this. You either show me the money, or I can't show you no more houses.
Jerry McGuire out here.
Yeah, so ain't happening. So yeah, so that whole relationship fell off, and I completely understand. I completely understand that, and
I feel bad for Scott because you wasted 20 something. Well, yeah, he kind of wasted his own time because he skipped a step. Yeah, he probably saw. Oh, they looking for houses. I'm finna get this good old commission, and overlook this step and then wasted his time. A whole day of his time. Dang.
Not a whole day. Not a whole day. I'm sure he had them looking for at least a couple weeks of running around looking.
No, I'm saying 23 hours. That's a full day. Like 23 houses, that's at least an hour a house.
Oh, easy.
Easy.
Atlanta?
Right. And
back and forth?
Not that's what I'm saying, not including traffic, not including
easily. Yeah, and then the other topic that we failed to touch on, but we have to touch on David, because David is the best assistant ever. He's just so patient. David was there for the surgery, and let the doctor know that he could talk. You could talk to me. I'll relay the message because he's in this very important VIP meeting.
Oh my gosh! But, okay, so my girlfriend also made a point of, well, who is David? And I was like, I don't know.
David's the assistant.
But then we start going back and forth, and we're like, is he David?
Oh.
But then if he's David and she says that she talked to him, how wouldn't she know that that's him?
Did you not? You watched that movie I told you, Sorry to Bother You?
Yeah.
They put on the voice.
Oh, they put on the...
Hey, sir, sorry to bother you, but I just thought I'd let you know. If y'all haven't seen Sorry to Bother You,
don't go watch it. Don't listen to him. Do not waste your time.
That's such a weird movie.
Siri always thinks somebody talking to her.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Don't go watch it, y'all. Don't go watch it. Please don't go watch it. But yeah.
Z enjoyed it. She was...
He a lie. But I mean, I get it, right? It could, but well, you know what? No, you're right. She had only known him for a few months by then, right?
Yeah. So you throw on a little something, put a little paper bag over it, muffle your voice a little bit. Jeez. You got that. So.
But I guess I was like, could he just not take off work that day? Why lie? You've been here all this time going through this, and this. Why lie and say you couldn't make it?
So now I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to put some personal experience behind it. So when I was in high school and up in Jersey, I had, well, not high school, when I was just graduated, like I was just out barely, and I worked for a temp agency, and that temp agency told me that, well, not the temp agency, but the warehouse that I worked in, the guy was like, if you miss a day, don't even bother coming back in the next day. You fired, you done. But I was through a temp agency. So I was working really long hours, really funky hours, and I was working outside, but you couldn't miss a day. If you missed a day, they were like, don't bother coming back in.
One day?
One day. Like, you were not allowed to miss a day. So if he was working through a temp agency and they were assigning him to different places, then that's completely possible to where you can't miss a day. If you miss a day, you're unreliable, and they don't treat temps the greatest in the world. Like the business world versus the actual manual labor.
But how long do you work for a
temps.
temp agency?
You work for as long as they have the contract. So they may have a contract with this place to provide temps for the next 6 months, 7 months. And then once the work dries up, they release all the temps. Okay. Some people they hire on permanently if they really like their work ethic. But the other ones are just out. When I was like a 19-year-old kid. I was a baby. So yeah, you couldn't miss a day.
No, I didn't know that. I never worked for a temp agency.
Yeah, it was terrible work. It was horrible.
Okay, so maybe he couldn't take off.
So he probably couldn't take off, or he'd lose his job. And then he couldn't pay the rent.
You can't be sick either.
No, they don't want you taking off. Period. So if you can't take off, you can't pay the rent, you can't pay the utilities, and then old girl, that shine of he's my is now thrown off. So yeah. So David's out there saying, "Oh, you can talk to me." The doctor's like, and the fact that she found it out coming out of recovery and she's still groggy, and the nurses are cackling back and forth about how David tried to get the doctor to talk to just him. That's weird. I mean, that's kind of like, first off, you got no nurse bedside manner. This girl she's still awake. She ain't passed out. And then for him to play David and then be like, "Oh, I can't get there in time to get her. I'm on my way," and then be 2 or 3 hours late to pick her up because she's sitting in recovery. Yeah, that's kind of rough.
But if what you're saying is true and he couldn't leave work, then
I got it.
That may be.
Yeah, I got it. But then they wheeled her down, and they went home. I guess I don't know. I don't get it. This just upsets me to no end.
I mean, I don't agree with the fact of like, oh, you couldn't be there for me. Like you said earlier in the previous episode about that being just as relevant to the story of actually being there for me versus showing up with money.
Yeah, money comes easy, man. Yeah, keep telling you. I understand money is not easy for everyone, but money, especially in situations where people have money and you're saying you're a VIP and you have access to money, however he was getting it, money is the easiest thing to throw at something, right? Your time and caring and your attention and the small things that you do for people, those things are not, they're not simple. I know they may seem simple and it may be like, oh, well, he cooked me dinner, or he did this, or he was there for me during my surgery. Those things you cannot make up and you can't replace, because those happen in moments, and those moments should be treasured. So if somebody's not giving you those moments, that's a hard sell for me, right? So money, I can throw money at it. Oh, shoot, oh man, you need this. Oh, yeah, here's $100. Oh, here's $300. Like that's just cheap way to find your way into somebody. So again, another message. Message. They just throw money at you and they ain't giving you none of your time. So it's a hard thing, man, especially something important like that. But then that brings us back to the whole, or moves us on to the wedding ring and how he proposed. And I think I'll let you handle that one because that's at a woman's heart. Because I'm going to tell you a conspiracy theory I got about the ring.
I don't even understand, right? Okay, let's go ring shopping is normal. Let me get an idea of, what you like. And then I'll choose from, the options that you gave me. But to just come home and be like, and put it on the table and be like, just look. What are we doing right now? What is this? Open and see. Excuse me? What are we talking about right now? Cause really, what are we doing right now? And just to be like, oh, and I'm like, she didn't talk about her reaction. Like, I wanted her to be like pick it up and be like, okay, and you know what I mean? Like, because like you said, I don't know if anybody watching this has ever dealt with someone from the Northeast, but in many cases we have a demeanor that is a little different from people in the South, and so I think that reaction would have been a little strong, and I would have appreciated if she would let me know, like, how did you actually handle that? Because that's kind of like you throwing my money back at me, like throwing my change at me, like, oh,
not handing it back.
Take this change and get out my store, kind of thing, like.
I feel like the first thing out of your mouth would be like, I know you fucking lying.
And I hardly ever cuss, but that would have been exactly what I would have seen. And I would have rolled my eyes and throw that box right at him like, you can get out right now, because what you're not going to do is act like I either don't deserve this or I'm just like begging you for something. Boy, bye. You can go on. You can get that ring and get on.
Yeah,
get on.
I'm banking that would have probably been the first reaction. Like, yeah, and you're not even going to like do something special for me. Like, you just handing this to me.
And she didn't even say hand this. What she said, he set it on the table, looked at it. She looked at him and said, "What is this?" He said, "Open it and find out." Even if you were joking with me, my guy, we're not doing that. And then she never came back and was like, "Oh well." Then he got down and asked me and all this.
Yeah, the whole getting down thing. Like, I was waiting for that. I was like, okay. I mean, shit.
And you accepted it? You put it on your finger? She said, and I was wearing it. I was wearing it proudly.
She wanted to be married. You want to hear about conspiracy about the ring?
What's the
Why he didn't get it then and there? Because they knew they were going to get married. I think he took pictures of the ring. He had the guy bring it out, take pictures of it, and he's like, "Can you make this with the cubic zirconium? Like, can you make this with a cheaper diamond?"
Oh, and then come back.
So that's why she didn't get it immediately, because he had to wait for the ring to be made. Mm-hmm. And he went, and it was probably the ring designed like she wanted to, but it probably wasn't the quality of ring that she thought she saw.
Yeah.
So the price tag on it was probably $15, and then
or less.
But then when he went to go get it, it was probably like, it's a $2,000 ring that we cooked up in the back. And found a diamond that matched. Or
if he broke like that, like it sounds like he is, he went to one of those sites that look legit, like the man-made gemstones that look like diamonds.
I'm sure he got it there, because he said that it was she said it was the ring that she wanted. So he would have to get it identically made, just with a different stone.
But she could have wanted something basic. We never saw the ring.
That's true.
She could have wanted a halo with a freaking, princess cut, like this.
Just want you to know, you're showing yourself right there, showing all your cards. She's like, that's basic ass halo.
Shut up.
I was just saying, basic ass halo princess cut diamond, nothing extravagant.
I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, he like, oh, all right, but yeah, I totally agree that it was so disrespectful. Okay. And for this to be something that you say you wanted so bad, like, oh, I really want to be married, like, you're gonna do it right, or we're not gonna do it at all. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't want nothing that bad that you gonna disrespect me to my face. Now, you lying is one thing, but you coming home with that's like nails on a chalkboard to me. You coming home and just disrespect me and put your thing on the table, and then have the nerve to talk to me like I'm crazy. Mm-hmm. Open it and find out. Now he might not have said it as hard as she presented it, but open it and find out. And you're supposed to be asking for my hand in marriage. Open it and find out. Open it and find out. We gonna find out. We gonna find out something.
So yeah. So now I'm guilty, right? Like, so I'm not gonna sit up here and act holier than thou, right? Like, my first marriage, I'll be first one to say that I was like, I didn't ask for anybody's hand. I said, we getting married, and this is the plan, and this is what's gonna happen.
We getting married sounds better to me than open it and find out.
Oh yeah, no.
We get married. Like, that's
hey,
that's like a declaration of you want me.
I need you to be here, here, and here. That's what I said. And I said, and we get married. I got the ring. I did the whole thing, and then
I mean, it's not romantic, but it's not disrespectful.
It's
unless you said it in a way that was like,
no. I mean, I said we get married. Like I said, I didn't give a choice. Like I didn't wait for the answer. I was just like, yeah, we get married, and so you need to be here. And I told her because I was coming home. But anyway, that's not about me. Let's focus. Let's focus on what we're talking about.
No, let's go ahead and shed some light. Where the flashlight at? Let's go ahead and shed some light. Let's see what you.
My attitude. This is what's focusing me on. So yeah. So now moving on again with this fool. Like, so now we get to the point where they're getting married and they putting their name on social, on licenses and stuff, right? And his social, she mentally copies it down, right? It's because I'm like, absolutely. This is the best part of this thing. I'm like, yes, absolutely, sister. Run that number. And I was like, and I understand you can't do it at work, but there are plenty of websites out here that you can go on and you can run as many social names
$30
that you want. Now, the thing that upsets me is the fact that when nothing came back for that social, she was like, cool.
It must not be anything.
Let me tell y'all, if y'all run a person's name, if y'all run a person's social, and nothing comes back, that's worse than everything coming back. Because that means that is fake. It ain't got nothing. So I was like, nothing came back? Like, not an address?
Not one thing? Not a phone number?
Not associated people? Nothing?
No. Yeah. You and me had the same thought. I was like, how did that give you relief, my God? The first thing I would have been like, nah. Run that back.
Yeah.
And you got married and you never saw. So I don't know if I'm just very particular, but I'm like, I'm checking all of that. I want to see your passport. I want to see your social. I want to see your birth certificate. I want to know who you are. Like I will know your social security number by heart in my own mind, in my head. Because if we are married and I do have to fill out paperwork, I got to know all of that. So
I don't know if it's like this.
How did you? Go ahead.
I don't know if it's like this in PA, but in Jersey, you got to take a blood test before
to make sure you're not.
To make sure you're not related.
Yeah.
So it's not like that down here. The South is willy nilly. Like South don't care. So, but up in Northeast, again, I got verification from Z. You got to take a blood test because you can't be kin. You can't be that close. Like you ain't marrying your first cousin. You ain't marrying. You know, y'all gotta test that out. So they ain't done none of that stuff. They ain't put anything out. They ain't talked about kids. I mean, maybe they did, but she ain't talked about it. But like she ain't said that they lined out nothing other than what he does for a living, and then his parents and his siblings.
Yeah.
But other than that,
oh yeah, she kept talking about I don't know anything about arena football. The fact that the amount of times that she referenced her ignorance about different things was just gnawing at me. I'm like, find out. Find out. Go ahead. Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm listening. Yeah, but yeah, and arena football was pretty big for a while. I mean, and I can understand, but again, it wasn't so massive that she couldn't have put his name in and find out who he played for, and his jersey number and his stats. You probably go on ESPN right now and pull up arena football stats. But you can do that.
Absolutely. You absolutely, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't just throw your hands up and be like, I just don't know at every turn. It feels good to not have to put the burden on yourself. But baby girl, when you figured out the first time, the second time, the fifth time, the 10th time that he's a liar, go ahead and try to do some verifications. Yeah. Go ahead and just protect yourself a little bit.
Before you get married,
protect your heart, your mind, your money, whatever.
And to me, I don't understand what the rush was because y'all done already lost the baby. Y'all done already fell through on 2 houses. Y'all done already decided that.
The rush was baby girl said, she said this word, I'm ready to be married. No, you weren't ready. You wanted to be married. Well, she said she was ready.
Yeah, and she may be ready to be married. She just picked the wrong person to choose to
marry.
No,
she wasn't ready to be married. She could never even face herself to have a real conversation, let alone him. She was not ready to be married. But go ahead.
I don't know. I think so. That's putting his his flaws on her. I think
No.
I think that maybe she was ready to be in a trusting, real, honest relationship.
And in that relationship, what do you have to do?
You do have to have tough conversations. But this guy was lying from
You
step
not
one.
only have to be accountable, you have to hold people accountable to you, because they now you're entrusting yourself to them.
But he didn't
so
give
you
her an
were not
opportunity.
ready.
He didn't give her an opportunity to hold him accountable as far as honestly giving the best effort that he could. He didn't provide a atmosphere that she could,
No.
that I can say that she was not ready to be married. I think wholeheartedly she would have made a good wife if she was presented with a good counterpart that wasn't doing all the things that he was doing. So I can't say she wasn't ready. I can say that
I disagree.
I can say that she was too eager and she let things pass by that she would not normally have in any other relationship. But I think she was too eager. I wouldn't say that she wasn't ready, because I don't know enough about her to say that she wasn't.
But that's what I mean. Just the bare basics of what is necessary to make a long-lasting commitment to someone and to yourself, to be ready. Just means that you're there. You're already there. You're already acting in that capacity. That's what ready means. Ready doesn't mean getting.
She was acting in capacity.
She was not. She was not holding herself accountable. She was not holding him accountable. She was not willing to have those things. We literally just talked about that the last episode, that we talked about her being like, you know what?
Yeah.
Instead of this, I'm going to have this. Now you saying he didn't start her off with a good baseline, but that's where her being ready comes in. I'm not giving her a pass. That's where you being ready comes in.
I don't know if
When you're too eager, when you're too hungry, thirsty, whatever it is, you overlook things that you shouldn't overlook. If you're ready, you're going to be like, hey, this isn't for me. I already know I can't accept this, this, and this, because I'm here at this point in this juncture of my life where I know what I will and won't accept. And in a marriage, I'm not willing to do that. And so we could even go back to her talking about her being spiritual, or her saying, I had all these pulls, these times where my spirit was basically pulling at me, telling me this is not for you. You can't do this. And she was ignoring it. You were not ready, honey. You literally said, oh, well, you know, this should have been a clue. And my family, I know that I'm not supposed to live out of wedlock. And I shouldn't be fornicating. And all, like she mentioned these things. You were not ready. The word ready, it literally means when you stand there, everything is already set in place. We're just in motion. All you ready for it. All you need now is the gunshot. That's it. You're on the block. You're talking in race terms. You're on the block, and when that gunshot goes off, go. So, we're not getting ready. So we're not getting set.
So we said we though. There's never
she.
I just feel like there's an opportunity for one person to be ready and the other person not to be ready, and that person who's not ready and not prepared and not wanting to do that can mess up the race for the other person. It's like a Cool Runnings moment, like where the guy trips and he knocks down the 5 people that were Olympic favorites. It's like he was so messed up that even if she was perfectly ready financially, mentally, she knew what her job was going to be going in, she got tripped up by all the nonsense he was throwing at her. Like, cause he was giving it to her hard. I mean, he was giving her the business nonstop.
I don't disagree with you that somebody else, that you being in a basically a 3-legged race can mess you up. I don't disagree with you there. I think if you are ready in terms of what we're talking about, marriage, commitment to the long term, she was not ready.
Yeah. I mean, I get your point. I mean, I'm looking at it as I just don't know enough about her to say that she
4 hours.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know enough about her to be like, yeah, she was. If you'd have gave her a good person that wanted to do the things that they needed to do if that would have been
So all things
successful.
created equal. With this woman who's told you what she was willing and willing not to do, all things created equal, you think that, let's say he all things created equal without the lies, or without the severity of the lies, that she wouldn't have accepted certain things and turned a blind eye and like, oh well.
I think the
Is that not
level,
her?
I think the level of what she would have to turn a blind eye to would have been minimal. I think she would have to, I think she still would have turned a blind eye to certain things, but certain women are like that. Certain women are just like, yeah, I'm not gonna pick that fight because that fight's not worth it. And if he would have been a stand-up guy, did all the things that he said he was gonna do, if he would have bought the house, if he would have bought her the car, if they would have had the baby, I think that if he would have done all the things, because he sold her a bill of goods, he sold her the mountaintop, right? He sold her, I'm married to a vice president of
And
a company.
she bought it hook, line, and sinker. That's the part that I'm talking about.
He's gonna buy me a house. He's gonna buy me a car. He's giving me a baby boy. He sold her the pinnacle of nonsense, right? Not nonsense, but the pinnacle of what I want as an adult in a happy marriage for a woman, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like if he would have done all those things, she would have definitely let things slide here or there. But I think she would have been in a more comfortable spot to be like, well, these things bother me, and I feel like they would have built a relationship over time. But he couldn't provide her with those things, and it didn't give her the best ground to start off on. So I don't give her a pass, but I can't say she wasn't ready because I don't know. They definitely were not fit, and they definitely shouldn't have got married, and she should have known that half a year worth of lies ain't going to change because he puts a ring on your finger. If anything, you were just promoting again. Like I said before.
I think that's exactly where I'm saying. Like you basically just said it right then. At that point, you made a decision with all the data that you had. If you were ready, you would have made the right decision. Does that make sense?
But that's being an adult. That's not about being ready for marriage. It's about being an adult. She had a bunch of stuff in front of her, and she made a poor decision as an adult. I think we're talking about different things. I think we're talking about being an adult and being able to identify issues, and also being ready for marriage and being a good spouse.
I'm just talking about being ready for marriage. That's the only thing I'm talking about. I'm not talking about her decision making skills or anything like that in terms of like life. I'm talking about marriage.
And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a break here because we're running up on time, which is amazing. But and then we'll come back again with part 4. But I do love the passion, and I love the fact that we're talking about more than just what she talked about, and we're expanding on like our views and stuff. I like it. I love it. I love the passion. See, that last question had you going.
Stay tuned, guys.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Culturally Incorrect. Please join us next time.